My first question is, Boom, looking pretty good out there.
Yeah, you know, the fall camp, you know, we're looking at a lot of contingencies at the receiver deal. You know, because we have the unknown with James. So James plays, he's coming back at some point. If that's a reality, then how do we set this lineup? James is not going to play. How do we set this lineup? So, you know, we need guys to kind of confirm some of the things that we hope we're thinking or seeing. So when Boom goes out and makes some plays like that, you know, then the possibility of having that lineup to start the season is just confirming for us. And so we're looking at it every day, evaluating it all the time, and making decisions pretty soon about how we're going to line up.
What do you think? I'm sorry. What do you think he's improved on from last season? I mean, obviously he was a redshirt last year. I don't know if he talked about the plays and whatnot. It's something he had trouble with.
The first thing that he's improved a lot on is just assignment. You know, knowing, we have everything's coded, and so every word, it doesn't tell him, hey, you're running a comeback here. He's got to know that if we call a certain play, I've got a comeback, and he didn't always know that before. So that part of it's good. And now what he's got to do is basically maintain the consistency of how he does it. And that's always the key to football. It's not really the plays you're running, it's how you do them. And so how he executes the route that he's running against different coverages, and so he becomes a reliable target for the quarterback all the time. I think those are his issues, and frankly, that's in general for everybody called development. And he's done an outstanding job, very impressive, and we're just trying to push him along so we have a good idea of how we're going to do this during the season.
Mike, can you talk about how James has looked to you and how much you can really tell until the season starts and he's actually playing a game, you know, how far back he is?
Well, you know, I think that we have a pretty good picture of where he is right now, and that is not ready at this time. But, you know, I think that the next time we talk to the doctor and the doctor gets an indication of where he is and what he's doing, then we'll know more about the possibility of him. There are some things that he does that are trademarks of him. You know, I think the fact that he can still, when he's running fast, sink his hips and come out of a break. I mean, that's how he really made a living at his position. So those are good signs. And you know, now how fast he can do that and how much pressure he can put on a defensive back, you know, it's not there yet, but maybe it's coming.
How about Cooks? Because I don't know if today was his first day or did he practice on Saturday?
No.
Oh, so today was his first day.
First day back, yeah.
Okay.
And that's great. I was kind of shocked to see him, frankly. He's done a lot of good rehab to get back, and that's a good sign for who he is for the future, I think. And so we'll look at him. You know, he wasn't totally comfortable today. He's probably taped up like a cast, but it's good to have him back out there, because he's part of that whole picture of how we're going to line up. And so the more we can and the sooner we can get him out there, the better off we'll be determining how we're going to do this thing.
Do you make changes in the way that you practice in response to the injuries? I mean, to prevent more of them from happening?
Yeah, we sure do. We look at that and how much contact or how much running we might be doing. You know, and in general, these practices, like what time is it now? It must be
11:30.
Yeah, you know, normally a year ago this practice would have gone right to noon. So we've really cut way back on the time. Our tempo is faster, you know, because we're running 2 huddles and we're getting probably close to the same amount of plays. But as far as time on the field and all that, a lot of our injuries too, you have to remember, are carryovers.
Yeah.
You know, they're coming from last spring, last winter. So, you know, we're still dealing with some of that.
Lastly, update on Jenkins for me. Is he still?
He's practicing teamwork right now. I don't think Jinx will be cleared for full speed until next Monday, but that's a possibility. And that's all biology. You know, it's a certain number of weeks out of surgery. And so next week everything goes okay, should be good.
Cameron Collins doing a lot more.
Yeah, he is. He's pushing the envelope a little bit, and that's what his doctor told him he needed to do. Just kind of fight through some of that scar tissue and cut it loose a little bit.
At what point do you...
said that it's easier said than done, he said.
At what point do you switch to where you're focusing on the first game?
Later this week.
Later this week.